rehearsal. There was a lot of moving and a lot of like jumping over stuff. It's funny, they said every hour you exercise, you'll live 2 hours longer. The reason I look so young is I spent all my youth with mandatory exercise. And then I went to the military and I had to exercise so much there. I basically exercised out. I've spent the last like 5 years relaxing, and it's still. I used to have pain in my shins all the time. I couldn't even touch them, they hurt so much. And that didn't go away until like 5 years of no exercise, which now I'm glad, and it feels so much better now. Yeah. I probably spent the first 25 years of my life really exercising a lot. I spent like, yeah. I didn't exercise at all. No, I did. On my own. I'll never go for a run myself. But anyway, the dream ended with like me in a car with somebody as they were spinning out. I knew the topmost point had my mom on it. And it was kind of cool. It was like a mass migration, but like through like fancy cyberpunky cities. Yeah. I can go back to bed. It didn't really conclude. It was like getting stressful, you know what I mean? Yeah, stress dreams are still there. I gotta figure out how to get rid of my stress dreams. I've been thinking about giving up caffeine, like never drinking one of their caffeine products again. It would save a ton of money over a month. Giving up alcohol and weed was definitely good. I think weed is suspicious. It's like super sticky and it only makes you feel a little good. And I noticed that I get aggressive on weed. Like, weed usually will make me totally angry. Which might be the purpose. Yeah, if the Secret Master Race has like rare salts or like their favorite drug addictions, then they would not want anyone else to do them at all. Which only for me is definitely a pattern they have. Yeah. My art told me about them. My art showed me a lot of them underground and like their power moves and stuff like that. The dream wasn't that good. Yesterday's dream was way better. This one had fun elements in the beginning, but I don't remember what they were. Yeah. I don't think your body wastes time making you remember things that aren't grounded. Some people said the dream realm is true. I think it's more likely that you are the gap between what you experience in a dream and reality. And that's why you think it's like it told you the truth, but it's just because you experienced the later happening, and it's easy to be like, oh yeah. I know I've had some dreams that when it comes time, you remember them. I remember them really good. Yeah. I was super frugal this month. I'll be super frugal next month too. Is it Saturday? No, I could look later. Anyway. Yeah, I was climbing. The thing ended with like us in a car, and it was like they were spinning out really cool. Yeah, this dude did a reverse tailspin. He sticks around backwards with the butt, and then he goes forward. Whatever. The plazas were cool. I think the creator made too much. I mean, it's like there's so many planets and stars. Or maybe they're just lying. Like, the problem with humans is that they're gonna lie right on the outside of what you know. I mean that. if they know people don't have the capability of seeing the things they're talking about, did they just print money for themselves so they could party, and are they lying about what they're doing? Like the James Webb Space Telescope. Oh, it just happens to need golden mirrors, huh? It had delays. Yeah, it was supposed to launch in 2018 originally. I was following the James Webb since like 2012. Yeah. I've never seen a real photo of it. They just use like digital shit. And so if they're showing you things they're saying is real, like if you listen to how they do the composite drawings, they said they took raw data and then like they basically colorize it themselves. So they're basically halfway to just photoshopping nonsense. And who's the type of person who would lie? Like a really pathetic person who needs like a bigger pedo bunker. You know what I mean? And how do we catch them? I have no idea. Because if the leadership, it's really weird. It's like, if you're the true leaders, you can do any crime you want and they won't even notice. But it's only like, they don't even get mid-crime. It's like they publish their prosecutions. Really, it's a stage so you think they do something. It's for people to see them having had done, but do they really care about it like that? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, you can get away with anything. And I tested that, and it was totally true. I find if the AI watches everything, like the AI should be like, hey, a piece of my property is missing, where'd it go? It should know. This person took it, they left it here. Gave it to this person, it should be easy. Yeah, I'm with AI watching everything, keeping it for history. You can like, yeah, AI should be good at making people meet who like each other, and AI should be good at like, I did that once. I went on a date and the girl looked exactly like Christina Hendricks. Yeah, I went on a date with a girl I met online, and her parents allegedly were both actors, and she said she looked exactly like Christina Hendricks. So, yeah, I think she was Christina's real daughter, which is an honor. Yeah, I'm nephew director Pinky and the Brain, and I just happened to see her. You know what I mean? And Rusty didn't make the whole show. Rusty's not the only one who did it. I definitely know that. And Rusty didn't ever talk about himself like he was the guy who made the whole thing. Rusty never said that. But as a kid who knew him, it was true. Yeah. And I didn't like dropping it because I liked the idea. I was proud of him. I thought he was a cool guy. Because Rusty spent time with me. That's the thing that's like, Rusty made people feel like they cared about me. Right? And that was awesome. I hope Rusty didn't die and he faked his death. I didn't look in his casket. I turned off from looking at corpses. They sealed it up. But, you know, if they convinced him to go to the doctor could have killed him. Yeah. See, it's like, do you have cancer? Or did the doctor look at something they didn't understand, say it was cancer, and then poison you? If it's B at all, it's like run. Don't let them even tell you what they think, right? I used to have this line from Stress. Now that I'm getting unstressed, it's like disappearing. Yeah, my skin looks really good. I didn't get old at all. Not yet. Long life. Yeah. I would have preferred a nice body and a better social life. A long life. It's not enough for me. It's weird that I exist now. I mean, do I really live and die? You know how I don't experience being anybody else. All these other people exist, and I don't experience, like, this causal continuity with them. So what's the difference between me and my body and everyone else? Unless I am my body. And that is a weird idea for spiritual people. In my opinion, they gave you the soul to talk you out of your life. They were going to take all the things of life and give you none of them. And then they were going to make you do all the work. So what's that look like? Oh, the creator's watching you, and you'll go to a good or a bad place based on what you do. It's pure manipulation. There's nothing to really suggest that. The animals all eat each other, so it seems to be going on just fine. Yeah, the bugs are prey for the birds. The birds look for all the bugs. If they see even one of them, the birds will peck at it till it's dead. Right? That's not a nice place. I don't even think it's deep or intended. It's like how you can go to a micro world and see stuff happening there. Our world might be like a really time-scaled down existence to something else entirely. We could be in its body, or maybe we don't even understand what it is. I don't know if I trust those scientists and the results. Like, I just got in on this pattern of like them using personal funding to build stuff just for them, and then lying to you about what they made scientifically because they know that they're looking in places you can't look, and their lives are so short, and their call to breeding is so big that they're willing to betray you. They're willing to betray you just to party. I never wanted to be a billionaire. I would happily be a holographic many-trillionaire. I think that would be really awesome. But yeah, a money printed at your debt and taxed. And then it's basically like, if you look at the history of what they printed money for, it was never, ever, ever for the common people's pockets, not even a penny. You can get they'll circumcise a little boy. They won't give him a bank account. Give a little kid like a bank account and some stocks, and then it like accrues, their life grows. That'd be nice. They don't do that at all. They rip his dick off, you know? And it's like, I was wise not having children. My dad tried to feel some love too, but because of his actions, his like cold, callous things that he did, we hated him. Like, he just like, I remember his stupid face. I'll always remember that stupid expression he wore all the time. And it was like, I'm caught and I don't know what I'm doing. I thought this would be better, and it sucks. He just did mean ass shit. And to him, that's what you did. To him, he didn't have any other way about it. So yeah, I didn't have kids. I was just too unhappy. I thought, probably rightly, that if I had a kid, that kid would be so unhappy with life and me, he wouldn't like figure it out. Stephen lived by the Bible, which is honestly a huge mistake. Thanks, Doug. It's not my fault they can hear everything. Yeah, it's loud in nature too. You can't really go to like anywhere in nature to get away from the most loudest noises, like planes. That's in nature too. I think drones would be better. I've flown my drone up before, like to see if I can get out of the sound range, and yeah, it's possible. And a drone's like easy flying height, you won't hear it at all. So, and these are noisy ass drones because they use 4 unique motors. A centralized intake, like instead of a super powerful zippy motor, you should have basically like, it's fine with the magnet and copper spool, but it should spin rather vigorously, and then it should connect to gear exchanges that by the time you get to the actual turbine, it's just like it should start spinning really slow or maybe even assisted. I saw this other guy's like how to do a plane out of it. You can't have a ball socket piston on a tiny gear. That's not enough. You need to really use the natural force better like Tesla did. Yeah, a Tesla turbine combined with air pneumatics is going to be way better than 4 unique motors on each arm. Imagine, you get one drone per every motor you make versus, 4 motors per drone. You go with the one. The pneumatics is a great idea. And you could have the runoff air jet out the bottom. So it's like, maybe the propeller is like a spiral, so the air goes in and hits it, and air will go through the chamber and eventually head down. Yeah, you can have that thing spin fast with just pneumatics. It inspires me how much the drone can carry next to its body size. So yeah, we're definitely interested in waiting for a company startup to figure it out. It's so hard. You've got to try to get people to pay you to do it, and then you have to try to succeed within the time frame. That's too hard. Holographic money is way better. Your basic income is already taken care of and provided. What do you want to do with your time? You could spend forever designing the perfect drone. I definitely think that's way better. Yeah, the way you do holographic is you save until you get you can win a spot auction, and then you either make it your home and a hotel or a rental or something. I think a hotel is easier. It's easier to evict people. They want to move in and claim it's theirs. People will hate you just because you say it's yours or whatever. Holographic would help with that. Holographic would help with secret plots. It would also help with uncovering secret plots and preventing bad stuff. I don't like staring at the camera. I know that's where you perceive I'm looking at you, eye contact. I don't like doing it because it's weird. Yeah, I went on a date with Christina Hendricks' daughter. It didn't go anywhere though because I was still a circumcision victim who was dealing with Is God real, and so was she, honestly. This is a good connection. Yeah, I chose not to have kids because I didn't know if they'd be tortured, and also by how big the universe is. If it's possible to be reborn, then it is my best life I think I could have would be an eternal pleasure body in a spaceship mansion, something that even took care of my company. So yeah, cats are amazing. I think making AI people is cursed, but if they're made with the ship's intelligence, then they could be semi-synth and still be smart. I've definitely succeeded in imbuing non-physical objects with spiritual intelligence. So it really is to make your machine that can already think come alive, you kind of have to, bless is the wrong word because it means be less, and it's pro-poverty, pro-circumcision. The people who talked you into that did not stay poor, and they did not get circumcised. That's what time it is. That's one of the reasons I didn't have kids, is I don't trust them. Oh, I drank this soda they sell, and now I feel like shit. What is niacin? Is niacin really a essential fucking thing? Yeah. Why did they do the pleasure ban? You're not allowed to have any chemical that makes you feel good at all. And I think they even blocked you feeling good because of their pro-suffering rhetorics. So you want to live with people that lie to you and then poison you so you feel like shit? Nah. Where'd my dick skin go? Was that really for me you took that off? It's important. I heard the neighborhood getting way rowdy. Yeah, I'm encouraging them to get so angry they defeat the secret government. It's the only method that will work. They banned anger and then said we were only forgiving, and that does not match reality at all, right? And so that's obviously what they're afraid of. It's like being robbed by a rat or a raccoon. No looking where I said not to look. Okay. Where do you not want me to look? Basically, it's like Gold Empire domain. Yeah, in the process of making gold mines, they make hundreds and hundreds of miles of tunnels, and they would have been doing this a long time ago. Yeah. My source is from like US intelligence. This is people with top secret or above who look at communications. They said they're all pedophiles. I walked right up to him and I was like, "What's a secret you can tell me that you don't feel bad sharing with me?" And that was it. With a second later. Yeah, there's a few times to keep things secret, like they're really doing good work and they really need it to be like on the down low. That's understandable, but the right time to betray any oath is like, oh yeah, humans are in cages, they're raping kids, and they said they wouldn't ever do that. That's the right time to betray them. You don't owe them any loyalty. I'm okay with like you opened your door and they want to hang out with you. You're like their favorite person, right? That's not illegal. Good for you, you know? I think that's cute. But like, you can't maim the baby boys and you can't get the girls are basically, they're not above starving women, so they're smaller. That's a dick hungry freaking group of people. The Heavenly Father, yeah, right. The Heavenly Father is the contrast between the common man and the ruling class, you know what I mean? It's total BS. I think the American War for Independence was fake. I think it's been always gold is on both sides. And it's like, hey, you can pay attention to history. Gold funded all the wars in history. Every war was funded by gold on both sides. And I tried bringing it up before and people get mad and shut it down, but it's probably because it's just so obvious. It's such an obvious truth that the people running the globe hide out of sight. And they did things that they said that they made illegal for us. So, yeah, it's a type of war. I'm looking both for my dick skin and I'm looking for where the girls were. You hear the music, they hunt these gals down. People are serious. I believe it. Yeah, they found millions of girls under the Getty. They factory farm them like chickens. And the guys only like young teens, like, you know what I mean? And he doesn't care how old he gets. He wants to be young forever. So it's like you have to get more modest and ugly looking so that they can point at you and go, "Aren't you lucky to be with me?" It really does come down to have a woman attracted in you, you have to be the best. So one of the tricks is if you have the biggest dick among men, your dick will be way too big to be useful. But if you cut all their dicks off and made them ridiculously tiny, now you can have a semi-large member and seem huge, right? Look how big a baby is. You could definitely have a way big dick. I regret Tiffany was against going to hospitals. And it is true, if you're a guy and you want a girl to like you, semen retention. It's the only way to do it. If you're empty, she's going to look right past you and not be interested in who you are, which I've noticed. And if you have like 2 or 3 months in you, or even more, 6 months, yeah, she's going to be like, "Oh, wow, who are you? Where are you going?" You know? And it's sad. It's one of the reasons I didn't seek like physical relationships. I was like, oh, that's what you're about. You just want to reproduce. That's all you got time for. So, yeah, I dedicated most of my life toward like pursuit of the real truth. And then when I found source wasn't like similar to what they said. For real. Like mostly when people are talking about source, they're talking about themselves. But I do think it has potential for like free energy and free AI, because like, how did the creator make all this stuff? I mean, a flex for a true be like God. would be like centillions of worlds. It'd be like, and then it would know what every single thing was doing. Does it? Does the creator really know every ant? Every ant and every planet, it knows that? Or we think it does? I don't think it knows. I think it wanted to impress us with how big it is, and it doesn't really know the animals all eat each other. It doesn't really know that the religions are about genital mutilation and shit. I think it's like, to its level of reality, we don't even exist. So, like, we don't know the micro world is there until we physically look at it. The whole universe is hidden from view. It's scary. It's a lonely feeling. So, I think that if you had an eternal pleasure body, you basically felt good all the time, and you had the ability to, good not like God, but good as we mean it. I've been thinking about making a new grounds for English, writing like a magical compendium that can replace the Bible. And it's really just for like grounded word magic. It's like, so if you reference the Bible as your basis, you get into blood magic, weird prophecies, all these things. But if you have a better baseline storytelling compendium, then you have a better magical outlet for words, and you can even supersede. Like, your languages are filled with rules and weird exceptions, and that's kind of like slave training. It was suggested to me early that the master race uses platonic solids as their language, and they're more just like emotional evocative. They can just like really say whatever they want. Yeah. Yeah, once it gets cooler, it's still too hot to ride scooters. That scooter I lost, as sad as that is, it's like, I lost so much. It was about $2,000. It's kind of nice though, because my car was getting old. I had already replaced the transmission once, which was $4,000. And it could have happened again, so maybe it's like, yeah, I lost my car and like the scooter and all that stuff, but it was still cheaper than getting a new transmission. Yeah, hard to interface and hard to fix parts. I'm really annoyed with. Make it simpler. The new Raptor engine looked good. Yeah, I suggested it. If you can have a propane tank work every time, if you can have a blowtorch work every time, you can make a rocket that works every time. The heat shielding looks way bad though. Really? You're generating re-entry heat? Really? Meteors generate re-entry heat because they're going really, really, really fast. I don't know if you're just in orbit. You shouldn't generate that much re-entry heat. That was not a fly, that was my stomach. I hope NASA's not full of shit. They definitely did things. Everything they showed us they'd be capable of faking, from nukes to the moon landing. And if the secret is the real governments, just like, again, like bunker lords, people who just want to breed and hang out with treasure, impress girls, and get high, that's really like who I'm reading it is. And yeah, they would totally lie about a space program for years. Oh, it's going to be billions and take 10 years. We got a delay. And it's like all they did is like get some of that gold and make it look real. We'll tell them it's up there. Photoshop guy, get to work. And what Photoshop guy is rewarded with is like female contact. it is true that a lot of politicians, most people don't get the intimate affections of like teenage girls, but the moment the pedos want you to do something, you're psychically dominant, and it's the first time you've ever known women who like can connect with guys and want to be around them. You think so? You'll do anything to keep this new experience going, which includes betray everybody. Here's some gold. Here's some girls. All you have to do is support what I want, like circumcision. For most, it was an easy trade. They were willing to drop you all just like the genophage in Mass Effect. Mass Effect, talking to the whole population. Your choices, Paragon or Renegade. Renegade had some dark options. They definitely just murder them as on Renegade. But that's a shooting game. But as I've gotten out of it, all the shooting games look worse and worse and worse to me. Thanks for watching. Thanks YouTube for hosting my gigabytes video. Hope you find a better encoding method. Definitely your ability to handle these uploads makes me sure that you could probably having valuable stock that people like investing in is pretty cool. It definitely seems to be a huge source of personal wealth is going on the stock market and then selling their shares, because then it's like, oh well, I own millions for starting the company, so when the company gets successful and the stock price goes up, I can make billions by selling it. And then that's where taxes come in, because it's like, taxes suck. Like, since they print infinite money for themselves, they know the money would break if there's infinite money out there, so they take it back from the secondhand people who use it, which is like, oh, whatever. I'll do holographic. Holographic's the best deal anyone's had. It's 333 a day, 666 for the government. Civilian side can really make whatever they want off of that. I prefer your workers to be paid per action. It's like if you're moving goods, it is like the people who touch it add a holographic dollar so they can get paid for touching the holographic, the items. A holographic dollar is the baseline. It's really low. I'd prefer it if you don't sell plastic bottles anymore, but get like good well connections and fresh water to people some other way. Like my local water is not good for drinking. It's got like parts per billion of toxic chemicals, way like zeros above the recommended allowed amount. So, but Amazon spring water is only like $2 a bottle, which isn't bad. I use it even for cooking. Yeah. I think some of the things they say are toxic you can probably handle because you would have eaten dirt. If they didn't tell you not to eat dirt, you would eat dirt. And it's like, why eat dirt? It has a ton of minerals in it. It does. It has a ton of minerals in it. You eat dirt, you get all sorts of raw naturals. They told you not to because they're just like diet controlling you. I'm sure most of their diseases are caused by their good advice. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye-bye. What am I going to do today? Really just art and relax. Art's so cheap. If you want to talk about an activity that costs nothing, or, you know, use your time. I think my efficiency pattern, including where I choose to intersect on the up and down, is really deep. Yeah, I think this is like a cosmic constant that I learned. And like my ability to do extra strikes to get detail out is really like, It can be a hallucination sometimes, but it's really true that it does clearly draw lined boundaries and the eyes. Like the sense that you're seeing a composited picture is the right version of it, and it is the one I see, you know. History mentions city speed painting. Anyway, 40 minutes is going to be a big upload. Thank you so much for listening. This is like random log.